Poppin', everyone. Welcome to another episode of Remember When. My name is Jose. With me today are my boys Amir and Johnny. Say what's up, guys.
Hey, yo, what's good, people?
Give me your money.
Yo, hold up. Money?
Aggressive.
What is this?
Hey.
Actually, feel free to give us money for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, give your boys some love, some kisses, some money, some loves and kisses. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is a media creation. Valentine's Day serves no purpose and corporations just profit off it. No one needs that much chocolate. We're already fat.
All right, what Amir meant to say is that he has plans to hang out with me on Valentine's Day. He loves giving me occasional smooches, and he really worships the holiday itself, okay? So please don't take anything that he said to heart, because he's actually a big teddy bear that loves loving others.
You dating a florist or something, bro. Like,
What? You are the florist.
Shut up.
Now that y'all understand, Amir and I are going steady. Right, Amir?
Jose, I'll kick you out.
No, but seriously though, Valentine's Day coming up. What do you guys plan on doing for that?
I mean, shit, I'm loving myself. They said love someone. I said myself.
So you gonna like look in the mirror and be like,
I'll be like, hey,
that
sexy,
guy.
what's good? You treating yourself right, King? All right, that's cool. Valentine's Day.
Yeah. I like that. How do you guys feel about people saying like, you got this, King? Like, people have that kind of like normalize that. It's like, you're a king.
Yeah, you just say, what's good, King? It's like, hey, what's up, fellow King?
What's up, fellow king? Is that how you talk to people, man?
There's kings and there's peasants.
So which one are you?
Definitely not a fucking peasant, know that.
So you like a court jester or
Nah,
what's going
bro.
on here?
I'm the king. I'm just saying, some people ain't on their grind. They lost their crown a while ago. That's why we gotta uplift our fellow kings and queens, get their crowns back on their head.
Yeah.
And there's just certain people you can't save. We ain't Captain Save-A-Hose.
Oh, jeez. And what are your plans, Amir?
Bruh, I'm an LDR, so I'm gonna see if I can send a package, do something like a little nice, some surprise shit,
For sure. You're not gonna do like a FaceTime meal or a Skype dinner?
Bro,
Skype dinner.
if I can't steal the food off your plate, I don't want to. Like,
Okay. That's kind of fair, I think. If you can't steal it.
bro, know y'all be stealing food off plates.
First of all, I don't steal food, all right?
You take. You just take.
No.
All you do is take.
False information, all right? Listen.
This man's been taken from our fridge since birth.
Listen. False facts. Any dang who. I never take, bro. I really don't. I'll wait for the leftovers. You see, I'm like a good.
You a damn vulture.
No. I'm like the king of the jungle. All right. I'm a
King of the scraps, nigga.
Yo, the king gets his own food.
Listen, I'm a jungle cat. All right. I wait until the meal is done, and then I come for the leftovers. Okay.
You mean you come when it's fresh, and then you?
Actually, I come for both. I really do. I'm so fat. Yo, man, I'm about to reevaluate myself for Valentine's Day.
Like I said, love yourself. Do some self-reflection.
Yeah.
Also, just because we noticed like this king queen stuff, don't post that like meme stuff where it's like a picture of a lion or a pride and it's like we are kings and queens. Like, bro, it's like the lion hierarchy don't work like that. The females do way more work. Like, stop memeing that shit. Stop. Right. I get pissed when I see that. Anyway, what's the topic?
All right. The three of us, we're going to be talking about Nintendo DS. All right. So disclaimer is that we're not going to dive too much into the DS line per se. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo DS, the original model, and the DS Lite. Maybe down the road, we'll talk more about the DSi and 3DS. But for now, we're just focusing on the original portable console. And so Nintendo DS, guys, did you have one growing up, or what's the deal with that?
Man, well, Here's the thing. I was just a kid who just did whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And when I got it's like when I first got my game, I was like, oh shit, that's cool. It was like Christmas Day, I remember, and we saw the DS. I was like, what the hell is this? And I saw, yo, it could play Game Boy. That's all I need. Give me all that. DS games. What the fuck is that? Bro. But once you get into that DS catalog, bruh, memories. There is so much good shit on that game, on that console.
Right. I agree with that. And for those of you that are not so familiar with the Nintendo DS, this is a handheld gaming system made by Nintendo. And it took off in the early 2000 or like 2004, end of 2003 is when it was announced. And it has the nomenclature Nintendo DS. The DS serves two different meanings, developer system and dual screen for the two screens that the console held, which at that point in time was a huge, huge, huge deal. Nothing else was like that. This is probably the most innovative thing to come out in, video gaming history.
I was about to say the only thing I can compare the release of the Nintendo DS to was like the Wii, where like it was so different from what was around, where like it was not comparable because you had the Game Boy and stuff. Like that was the biggest comparison, but it's like, bruh, you just made it tool screen. Like you just doubled the value. You made it brick too. It's like a gamepad controller feel now.
Yeah, and that bitch had touchscreen too. So it was like at least the bottom half had the touchscreen. The top half you were shit out of luck. But
seriously, was there like a touchscreen revolution like around that time? Because even like phones like increased in like the touchscreen technology and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the DS wasn't the first one to do touchscreens. Back in the day, there was this booty ass system, the game.com, and that shit had a touch screen.
Yeah,
but that shit was ass. They don't, you could look it up. That shit look like a brick. It ain't good to this day, but the DS, I would say that shit made that shit mainstream, and that's what it like.
Yeah, I mean,
it made it work. That's the best thing.
I think it's just more so like the Promethean LCD screens is what was the upcoming thing. It's, touch screen, I think, came as a result of, them moving on to, these newer, more popular style screens. But fun fact about the DS, did you guys know that it was not supposed to be replacing the Game Boy Advance? That it was supposed to be a third prong Nintendo console. So they had the GameCube, the Game Boy Advance, I think the SP was already out by that time. But so Game Boy Advance SP, you got your Nintendo GameCube. They released or announced the Nintendo DS as like a third prong. Like it wasn't intended to replace it because it was such a different direction with everything that they had no idea that it was going to take off. They were like, if this flops, we don't want to go down in the dumps. But if it succeeds, all right, well, we can work with that. That's cool.
I mean, it makes sense because honestly, it's crazy too. Because at the time, the GameCube even had the Game Boy Advance adapter. So it's like kind of crazy. You had your Game Boy Advance. Meanwhile, you could put that shit in the GameCube, and you could also put it in the DS because that shit had backwards compatibility too. It's like I can understand why they did that. It's smart. There's so much cross compatibility that's like it made having a Game Boy worth it.
I think it's like a reflection of like what's changed over time. You know what I mean? Because it's like back in the day, like GameSpot was like a huge deal. Like GameSpot was big. Like gaming stores, you went into gaming stores just to look half the time, even if it was like at the books and stuff. And every time something new came out, it's like, oh, a GameCube, like a Game Boy only section where it's like the little mini boxes. You got Xbox, PlayStation. Then you had a whole section for DS, and then you had adapters and shit. Now it's like, you got this generation or the other generation, and they're not cross compatible. You can't play the previous one on the on the new one. Like the DS had so much value for the time. Because even though a lot of the other consoles had like you could play games from before, I thought that was the first where first off, you can have both inserted at the same time, which I thought was kind of low key hard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I can just switch to like, Mario Kart with the boys to like, I'm gonna play Metroid Fusion on the side. Like, bro.
Yeah. And I think you hit a spot on, Amir, is that a lot of the novelty came from, hey, listen, if you still want to play your Game Boy games, you still can, and if you want to play some new, now you can. It's like, it was perfect.
It was variety, and it was more like, you choose. Now it's more like, a singular path, you know what I mean? It's not like if you have a PlayStation, you can't just swap over to an Xbox. Like I thought this was like the first where it's like the Wii. It's like, oh, you could put GameCube games in the Wii, and it could still work. Bro, you never got that with like some of these other systems and all that. Like that's why the Nintendo DS was so hard, I thought.
The most that you really had for that shit was like PS2 could play PS1, but even early PS3. Early PS3, that shit was fire because you could do PS2 and PS1 until they got the later models and they cut that shit out because that shit was too expensive.
So tragic. So tragic.
But
tragic.
You know what? Low key too. Have to recognize the DS low key like gave Pokemon lovers a connection to have all the games.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like it's so like some of the older games like what's the one where it was like brick as fuck? Where was it Silver?
What the really big one for
yeah,
Game
like
Boy
the really
Color?
big cartridge and all that.
Yeah, I know silver, gold, blue, and yellow. Yeah, those were all for Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't have all the Pokemon games with just a Game Boy. So
Yeah. I mean, you guys kind of dove into all the neat features of Nintendo DS that had the 2 LCD screens, the built-in microphone, which is a bittersweet feature because, you kind of have people now. Like,
hey, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that fucking microphone.
Yo, that microphone was cheeks, dog. Bro, you remember the sounds that would come from it? Like,
oh my god, I remember back in it was like Mario Party DS or some shit. It was like it said, "I blow on your screen." You would be spitting all over your fucking DS.
That would be the worst. Oh my goodness! And I know exactly what you're talking about, John, because you would try blowing as hard as you can onto your Nintendo DS. You blew your Nintendo DS, bro. It was crazy.
Also, bro, low key, you know how you open up a DS and you could kind of push it a little more than it usually can go? Like, there was the normal position and then there was the extended position where it was like the max, like, it could be bent.
Yeah.
Bro, how many kids, like, whip the fuck out of their DS, like trying to open it like a flip
I can
phone.
guarantee you people are probably doing it like pocket knife style where they're like, whoop, like flip it right back.
It's crazy too, because I know motherfuckers that had like their DS and like this shit was compact, like you could flip it up and down, but motherfuckers who like were shaking that shit, bro, eventually that shit would just be shutting on, like, it didn't even have any like torque on it. It would just, it's so loose that your shit would be closing on your damn fingers.
R.I.P. your fingers, yeah.
Yeah, the backwards compatibility, the touchscreen. How do you guys feel about the stylus to go with the touchscreen?
I mean,
I think it definitely made sense because, especially as adults, you your hands are much bigger. Like, you can't be like just physically making that your touchscreen because it was too small of a screen for that point.
I mean, like, if for everyone listening, like, we're talking OG Nintendo, like, DS. Like, we're not talking like the 3DS, because I mean, like, you'll probably think, oh, 3DS, the screen's pretty big. Bruh, the screens is diffy. Like, the OG screen is diffy. You need that little pen, and half the time these kids munching on the damn tip of it. Like, it's disgusting.
Like, I ain't touching my friend's DS pen, but that should be that time them shits be nasty, bro.
How am I supposed to play Nintendo Dogs properly without my pen?
Well, that was another cool feature about the DS is that now you just added a value of customization. Before it used to be like what different skins you can get for it. Mm-hmm. You can still get the skins, but now you have an added thing is that what color stylus do you want? Or what kind of customized stylus?
Yeah, because motherfuckers be losing them shit.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Some people really be getting like the variety packs, marker style. Maybe like, let me get blue, green, yellow.
Meanwhile, your DS be like red, and it's like, bro, why your shit like blue? What the fuck?
It's like, let me play on your DS. Where's your pen? I don't have it. You degenerate. Like, use my finger head ass. Like,
they also had the Pictochat.
Yo.
Okay. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, like, I thought that was hard as hell. Like, I remember them announcing it as like a feature and all that. I was like, yeah, boy, it's gonna be lit. And I remember messaging Johnny something, and he just drew back a picture real quick, and I was like, all right, that was fun for like 2 seconds. Like,
here's the thing. My dumbass kid mentality was like, yo, Pictochat, this shit's online? Wow. But here's the thing. The way that shit was LAN network, so you have to be right next to motherfuckers in order to like even use it.
Yeah.
But with my kid, I was like, online. So I'm sitting here like typing in messages to myself, thinking, yo, someone's gonna type back. Who's gonna type, bro? I'm just. That's so sad. So many messages seen by no one but me.
You think for adults it was like Yik Yak when you go on a college campus?
Oh, don't even get me started. Yeah, I got
Can you imagine, like meanwhile it's us at like, oh, kid released DS. Meanwhile, adults when the DS came out, Pictochat was high. Got hella news off Pictochat.
Well, it's crazy. Apparently, there was like a news article. I think it was like by Fox, like way back in the day, and they had said about how like predators were using the Pictochat to like talk with like kids or whatnot, but it's like literally their car has to be driving right next to you, and here's the thing, they got to be on a Nintendo DS to try to talk to kids. Like, what the heck?
I mean,
crazy.
Man, I mean,
yeah.
You can't get tracked on it. I mean, it's better than using a phone. FBI won't get your ass, but
I mean, yeah, it's definitely better, but like, what the heck? You really just seeing an 8-year-old with a 40-year-old drawing pickles on Pictochat. What the heck?
I'm right beside your house, little Jimmy. Come here, let's meet face to face.
Draws a face on it. Come over here.
Come on, I want to play some Mario Kart with me.
What's that one Jackbox game where you have to draw some? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, like the
Jackbox
Jackbox studio games that we play on the TV.
Or even like Pictionary, something like
that. Like Pictionary and all that shit.
Yeah, it's basically one of those.
It's like you all pretty much you just did was just like type some dumb shit. Like it was cool for the time, but motherfuckers be like, "Alright, where the fuck's Mario Kart? Give me or Mario Party DS? Give me that shit."
Yeah, yo, did you guys know that Nintendo DS had some like crazy sale numbers?
Oh, of course,
surprised, bro. Like I think that was like one of the first handhelds where it was like you got rid of a cord instead of adding more cords, because it's like, oh, you don't have to connect to each other. You could just be near each other.
Oh.
Meanwhile, you got like other ones like the PSP. Like I think that was like the only handheld thing at the time that could be like compared to, and
absolutely,
even that was way older than.
Yeah, I agree with that. And for those of you that don't know the cable thing, all right, so back when you had your Game Boy Advance, say you had Pokemon, right? Amir and I wanted to battle each other. We had to have a whole cable accessory, all right? Had to connect one person's Game Boy to the other person's Game Boy. And through there, you had to go like, I don't know, to a certain point in Pokemon, but through that, you were able to play multiplayer. You couldn't be in like another house. You couldn't be in another neighborhood, another country, none of that. You know, so not that it was the worst thing ever, because I guess if you're near somebody, it's an alright way to do a multiplayer, but nothing beats doing it wirelessly.
Bro,
because Lord forbid somebody through their
Game like, hey,
yeah,
shit.
Bro, you remember how much of a struggle it was just to link up our Game Boys? Boy, whoever's listening, we grinded on both of our Pokemon games. Like, oh yeah, we'll finish this. We'll get our teams and we'll meet up as if like we just beat the Elite Four, beat each other's ass and stuff. Bro, whoever created Pokemon where it's like, oh, they only evolve after trade, you're foul. I'm an introvert. I don't have friends. Like, I'm not trading with these bulls via cord. Like,
that's the worst for people that like were introverts, is that like if they didn't have a friend to like connect to, there were certain Pokemon they could never get.
Guess you're game sharking and cheating, dog. Like,
I'll trade with the Game Genie.
I'm sure God will bless me with a couple Lucarios for the one time.
Bruh, I still remember when I pulled up on a dude, because I remember seeing Action Replay, like when that was hot at the time, and I was seeing on a kid's DS. I was like, bro, what kind of magic is this shit? And he was like, yo, check this shit out. This man's fucking wall hacking in Pokemon. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, got a level 100 Rayquaza. I was like, some bullshit. You better give me that shit. I want it now.
Bro, people used to talk smack about how much like their Pokemon level was, though. People used to talk mad game.
Oh yeah,
that was funny.
Meanwhile, you be spending like the last 3 years of your life, finally got 5 level 100 Pokemon. Oh really, bucko?
Damn, that sucks. I got it in like less than an hour.
That's crazy how I collected every single Pokemon, got every single shiny, got everyone's a level 100. Beat the Red Trainer too. Got to the other region, beat they ass too.
But back to the sales numbers, the Nintendo DS sold over 650,000 units in 1 week. in America. How crazy is that? I mean, I don't know how comparable that is to the numbers nowadays. I mean, PS5, I imagine probably like blew that out of the water because, people are fiending for the PS5 right now. Like they're going crazy for it.
But I think like it's crazier because it's like that number is ridiculous. But imagine the general increase of Game Boy consumption and like DS game specific consumption. Because it's like, bruh, it still plays Game Boy games. So you've definitely probably risen in like all categories for any Game Boy game.
Yeah.
And then like DS solo games, people are eating that up. It's like when like the Xbox 360 first came out. It had no damn game, so everyone bought every single game that came out. Like it's like, oh, Nintendogs, this is cool, I guess.
I mean, yeah, shoot. I mean, it depends on launch titles too. But I already remember one of the first ones they had was like Mario 64 on DS as a launch title. I was like, what the fuck?
They had some bangers. Like they had Kingdom Hearts games. They had fucking Castlevania games. Like.
Yeah, so their launch titles were pretty weak, but as you touched on earlier, they had access to the whole library of Game Boy Advance games.
Hard.
So it's like, you weren't, even if you didn't see a title in like the launch that you wanted, it's okay. You still have a plethora of games to be able to choose from and still play on your console. But yeah, they had Super Mario 64 DS, Asphalt Urban GT, Field of Magic, The Herbs, Sims in the City, Spider-Man 2, Madden 2005. A little bit of an odd launch title, don't you think? Madden 2005 for the DS.
I think it was like the general appeal they were going for.
Yeah,
it's like if you're trying to rack in everyone, of course you have to include a sport like title. I think there's even like Call of Duty titles for like the DS. I think I had one and it was ass, dog. Like, I remember you had to aim with the damn stick and shit. I was like, oh hell no.
Some bootleg Call of Duty, bro. They'd be like Ramirez with that fucking tiny ass.
2 frame, 2-bit.
Like that shit was a struggle, but I mean, it did its job. If you could, and it would be like rated T for T. So it's like, oh, you can't play more Call of Duty 4. That's not for mature. It's like, oh shit, play on the DS. It's got no blood in there. There's no cussing. Like you don't got to worry about that shit.
But the DS did have some really, really good titles for the console itself. They had Mario Kart DS. They improved the Pokemon games. So, I mean, mind you, I'm a little biased. I still think Sapphire, Emerald, and Ruby is like the peak of Pokemon in my opinion. Like, and mind you, I've played Leaf Green, I've played Diamond, and I've played Black and White, and those are phenomenal titles. But I still think Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald, they hit it perfectly.
Yep.
I think that is the perfect triad for Pokemon. And I mean, again, that's not to say that these other titles are bad, but that's just my personal opinion. It's just like that was the peak for Pokemon for me.
I agree.
Yeah, the one I grew up on was my fucking Diamond and Pearl. I think that was definitely the first one, like new generation of Pokemon on DS, and that shit was fire. Even though my team was ass, I was a 6-year-old playing Pokemon. Like I had a level 50 fucking Palkia. Meanwhile,
I remember you had one over-leveled nigga and a bunch of rats as a background support. I was like, this is disgusting.
I was like, my man better carry this shit.
Man's out here speed running the damn career.
It was a damn struggle, but bro, them games, oh my god.
Yeah, new Super Mario Bros, Chrono Trigger. They had Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever played those games?
Never played them.
They're really interesting, like puzzle games. Like it's weird because, for example, like Phoenix Wright, you wouldn't think being a lawyer would be cool, like playing like a game about being a lawyer, but they actually made it really fun. So it's like they had those new titles that, I mean, are now they're set in stone, like those are the ones that are like paving the way for future, if there's a future of the 3DS or, the Switch. But though, yeah, they had their share of pretty awesome games. Legend of Zelda, Phantom Hourglass. I never played any of the Advance Wars games. Have you guys?
Advance Wars, nah.
Neither. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, they're really good. I mean, don't they make an appearance in Brawl?
Like Brawl, I mean, yeah, Brawl's able to, when they like introduce like assist trophies. There was a lot of shit you found out through assist trophies. Like a lot of the assist characters came from like really obscure game like DS titles and Game Boy games.
Yeah,
it's like that's where I would say Super Smash Bros. Where you even found half them games.
Yeah. Did you guys ever play Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars on your
Bro,
DS?
if I had a GTA game, my mama would have whooped my ass growing up.
Oh,
That was one of the few like M-rated DS games. I was like, oh shit, if mama sees me with this, she gonna beat my ass. I'm like,
I was about to say, here's the thing. If I want to do GTA, I don't think I would do it on the DS. I really don't think I would want to do it on the DS.
See, the problem is, like, I felt like some people kind of already got, like, it'd be downgraded if it was on, like, the handheld thing. But there was, I ain't gonna lie, as many greats as it had, it also had, like, a lot of little shit ripoffs. Like, it'd be like, oh, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Ping Pong for the DS. And it's like, bro, what? Like, what is this? Like,
it was kind of. They even had like motherfucking Metroid Prime Hunters on that shit. That shit was fire.
Oh yeah,
that
did.
was fire. I love that game.
Did you guys feel as though the DS had a better library of games than the Game Boy Advance?
I mean, it would depend.
Solo?
Because
I feel like it's hard to separate the two because it's like joint.
I mean, yeah, if we're combined,
so like my memories are like intertwined with like. Because I don't know what I played more honestly with on the DS. Because I feel like I played more Game Boy on the DS.
Well, that's going to depend. Like comparing DS libraries with the Game Boy Advance libraries, that shit's tough. All right, for it because especially with Game Boy, because the Game Boy Advance could even play like the shit's from like even OG Game Boy and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's like with DS and shit. My most of my memories fall in line with Game Boy Advance because that's mostly where I played. Now the DS shit was fire, but I felt like with DS there was also a shit ton of shovelware where I was like, bro, this is some bullshit. But with the Game Boy Advance, it had like enough hidden gems in there. I was like, yeah, I feel personally for me that library hit more for me.
What if I change the question to Game Boy library versus the whole catalog of DS? Like I'm including like 3DS games too.
So we're
like because obviously that would make it fair because Game Boy had a couple years, DS had specific games for a couple years.
Shit, now you put it like that with Game Boy. I'll say Game Boy. Again, Game Boy was actually nah. It really depends on your preference.
You see, the only reason why it's a little great for me is that so a lot of the Game Boy titles, a lot of them came from like Super Nintendo. You know, so like some of them weren't even original games. You know, like for example, the Super Mario Advance series, it's Mario Bros. Like it's Super Mario Bros. 3. You know, like from the Super Nintendo and NES, just like a little bit more refined almost. So they had games like that where they're not necessarily originals to the console itself, but in my opinion, Game Boy, though, it had some heavy hitters. Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, that's like on, I'm pretty sure it's on like IGN's like top 100 games.
Oh, you mean Link's Awakening?
Oh, yeah, exactly. They had, I think the Minish Cap was also on there.
Yeah, Minish Cap was fire.
Yeah.
and the Oracle games, too. Those shits were good.
Yeah, I mean, Metroid Fusion.
Fusion classic.
Yeah.
And Zero Mission. Both of them games, top tier.
Yeah, I just think, again, I'm biased. The Pokemon games, the Fire Emblem games, Mario Kart Super Circuit. I don't even know if that would be better than Mario Kart DS. I think Mario Kart DS has...
DS is probably one of the best Mario Kart games. Like offer it. Like, especially, it had battle. It's probably like the only one that had like the best battle mode, in my opinion. I'll beat people ass.
I think even though taking the whole like lifespan of the DS, like even up to today, I do think the DS does have the Game Boy beat, and that if you take like all of it into consideration, just because like they gave new life to like Kid Icarus. Like, you know, you hadn't heard that name. I mean, other than from Smash Bros, nobody knew who the heck he was, and they gave him brand new, you know, color and life.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of did a similar thing with Starbucks, or I was about to say Starbucks, with Star Fox. But
it was a remake. Yeah, it was a remake of 64. But
they had a Command. No, that was
Command was also DS. That I remember seeing my homie play that game.
Yeah.
That game it was cool.
I'm inclined to agree though, because I think like catalog, I ain't gonna lie, I think I'm leaning towards more Game Boy. I mean, I'm biased out the ass. I don't care about this. Like, I'm fine being biased in this case, but like at the same, I think the DS for like a handheld like release, I think it's like one like up there for like revolutionary shit, because it definitely is like one of the openings to wired play to unwired play, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, for the DS, I think a lot of their titles are really good third-party support. I think the DS had better third-party support, and the Game Boy had phenomenal first-party support. I mean, again, there's no denying the Legend of Zelda games that came on there, the Mario games. The Kirby games weren't. Here's the thing: Kirby games aren't on the same tier as them, but there's still no denying the quality of them. Yeah, so
Kirby was everywhere on the.
Oh yeah, I mean, me personally, Nightmare in Dreamland was one of my favorite games. I really enjoyed it.
Yo, Superstar Ultra on DS. That's another hit. That's another classic right there.
Superstar Ultra, yeah,
beautiful. I don't care if it's a remake. That's a beautiful remake.
Is that the one we have for the longest?
Yeah,
that game go hard. I ain't gonna lie.
I think Kirby games.
But that's what I'm saying,
underrated.
like, bro, that we need those advancements. Like, that's blessing.
Right. Yeah, as a whole, DS, I think in terms of innovation, it's better than the Game Boy. And, here's the thing. Game Boy brought gaming portable. So, you got to think, like, they're kind of innovative. Like, they literally said, here's a console in your hands. Like, you can't get... Like that was beyond revolutionary at the time. So, but here's the thing with the DS. Like, one of the biggest differences is that for the Game Boy Advance SP, I'm pretty sure you did have a rechargeable port for it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but the original Game Boy, you had batteries for that one. Even the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, they all took batteries. So for the recharging concept, it was like relatively new. DS, yeah, you just plugged it in. It only took, I think, like 3 hours for it to get 100%. You got around like 20 hours of gameplay out of it, which is pretty impressive.
You get a stupid amount of hours. I remember me and John used to, like, for the 12-hour Hawaii to New Jersey flights, we would Mario Kart it the whole way. Like, go stupid on that. And that dumb Wolverine game.
Hey, don't forget that Wolverine game.
Hard as hell.
Now, did you guys actually own a DS or a DS Lite?
DS Lite was the first introduction.
DS Lite was the first one I had, and I think a big part of that is that the DS, the library for like a good year was pretty soft. Like, it didn't have...
It was like in the Xbox release, like not Xbox, but like Xbox 360. Because it was like, bro, for a while there was nothing. It was dry as hell. Like, even the Wii games, dry as fuck. Like,
yeah, right.
For like the whole like beginning. Plus, like, we didn't grow up like that. Like,
of course.
I don't think there was ever a time where it was like new console on the day of Christmas and we got that. Like, it was more like, it been out of here, we got that.
Oh, yeah, right. Bro, it'd be out like 3 years and be like, oh, damn, it upgrade. Meanwhile, we'd be like, there's like another generation already ahead.
Listen, we still appreciate our blessings.
Heck yeah.
We took it as it is. Yeah, the DS Lite, I really enjoyed it, though, especially like looking at the regular DS. That thing is a whole brick.
Yeah,
that thing is massive. So the DS Lite, sleeker looking design, a lot thinner, lighter. It had better battery to it, so like longer duration of gameplay, had decreased charge time. So as a whole, it was just a better version of the DS. It really was. It was just like, all right, here's a really great thing. We're just gonna make a few tweaks and bam, it's better. And adjustable brightness. That's kind of big for the Game Boy Advance SP. If I'm not mistaken, it was just one button. It was like, here's dark and here's darker.
While the OG Game Boy Advance, that shit didn't even have light. You better play that shit next to a lamp, because if you try playing under your covers, you're fucked. You can't see anything.
And didn't they actually build accessories like Game Boy lights?
Yeah, they had a specific light for it and everything.
Yeah, struggle.
That's crazy. Yeah, actually, so didn't the Game Boy Advance SP not have a head jack?
A head jack? Yeah, I remember that was the discerning difference between like the OG Game Boy Advance and the new one, because the old one, you got a headphone jack, no backlight. New one, you got a backlight, no headphone jack. So it's like, pick your poison.
Yeah.
But I want that backlight. So,
I was about to say, I'll take the backlight any day. I'll play that shit on mute all day. Or just like the smallest volume.
Man. So which do you guys prefer as a whole, the DS or the Game Boy?
I mean, shit. In terms of like the line, and it's probably nostalgia playing at this point.
I was about to say, like, I'm biased Game Boy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with the Game Boy Advance, more specifically the SP, because that's the one I remember more. Like, I had the small portable version, and honestly, I like that because you could bring that thing anywhere. You could put that in your pocket. I can guarantee you that OG Nintendo DS, you can't put that in a pocket.
That shit's gonna be looking like a brick in your damn pocket.
Yeah, that thing gonna fill up your whole hoodie pocket.
Now, is the DS a better, like,
As a whole, I think it's
is it
worth,
better than Game Boy? Yes.
It's worth your price because you get 2 consoles in one.
Mhm.
You get
It's like getting a PS3.
Yeah.
If you want like old PlayStation games with just enough modern, like
absolutely.
Yeah, if you just want to, if you want to experience best of both worlds, get at least a DS Lite.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even the sound quality, like everything is just like, it's better all around. It really is. So if you're looking for the better purchase, it's definitely the DS. But in terms of, I think it's just a nostalgia kick in is that, the Game Boy Advance SP, I think that's the better one. I think in just terms of the games and what it did at the time, it's just the better of the two. Now, here's the thing. Handheld consoles are a dying breed, don't you? It's just no longer going to be a thing in like 10 years. Don't you guys agree? I mean, especially because of smartphones, because that's essentially a handheld console.
Yeah, because at this point, your smartphones nowadays are fucking crazy. Like, a smartphone could be as nearly as powerful as a PS3 at this point. Like, you could play straight up full-fledged games on your damn phone.
I was about to say they modify games for the phone all the damn time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the same thing happened where like there was a push out, or like as soon as the Nintendo Switch came out, boom, the DS died. In my opinion,
they completely dropped
because like it's Nintendo, so it's like okay, whatever. But at the same time, it's like that's the next lineup because technically the Switch, it is a handheld device because you can take it with you anywhere you go. Can you connect it to a TV? Yes, but is it mainly handheld? Yeah,
and I'll tell you this: I see it used as a handheld more than I see it used as a console. To be honest, like I will see people bring it with them and they'll be playing Mario Kart like at a restaurant.
Yeah, and you want to talk about brick in length, like that. That shit's long. Like
it's crazy, but they're making it work. The thing that's going to be the future of handhelds, man. It's just smartphones, tablets, and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, honestly, it's like stuff has had its time. It's cool, but eventually technology is like, eventually it's going to be a dying breed. Like even whatchamacallit, PlayStation, the PS Vita, the Sony said, fuck that shit,
PS Vita died so fast. I actually had one, and I enjoyed the games and the content that I had for it, but it just like, they couldn't keep up, and they just were never going to be king of the handheld game. And
it's sad too. The Vita was cool. It tried.
It was a really sleek design. It was really neat, but R.I.P. We love you. Yo, you know what? For this Valentine's Day, people, get yourself a DS. Get yourself a Game Boy Advance.
Get yourself a Vita. Show us some love.
Get some Vita. Show the handheld business some love, okay? Amir will get one with you, and he'll play some Mario Kart, all right? Right, Amir?
You'll play Mario Kart with our fans.
Yeah, with the fans.
Bro,
can we make that a Twitch event?
Come play Mario Kart. We're waiting. Anybody? Hello?
Heck no. Heck no, bro. There's gonna be so much lag.
Yeah, true. And I never trust Nintendo with Wi-Fi.
Plus COVID and all that. Can you imagine just like the circular group of masked men just huddled around one circle? It's like, what are y'all doing over there? Oh God, it's even worse. They're playing Mario Kart together.
Look at these losers.
Fucking disgusting.
Oh no. Oh man. Well, there you go.
Memories.
Sweet memories. The sweetest. Like some Valentine's Day chocolates. Sorry, Amir. I can't handle you looking like
y'all are sheep. You're
All right, everybody. Thank y'all so much for listening to this episode. Remember when? Have yourself a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Cupid
stay clean, stay healthy. Amir loves you, all right? Just remember that. Amir loves you all.
I hate you
so very much, okay? Disregard what he's saying. He really does love you.
It's on site.
Okay, listen. If y'all feel like leaving us a 5-star review saying how much you love Amir,
don't.
Please do. Do it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, all right? And if you do, we'll read out loud on our next episode. Okay? If you like us and you want to follow us on social media,
don't care.
Like our Facebook page at Remember When Podcast, and follow our Instagram page also at Remember When Podcast. Stay beautiful, stay healthy. Love yourself, all right? Love yourself, all right? And we'll see you next time on Remember When.